What's up guys, Hades here. So if you can see on the screen here, we have Hyrbrid. Why Hyrbrid? I want to talk about my new series, the second part, how much does it cost, Hyrbrid Edition. Now, Hyrbrid has been one of the best teams for a very long time. I talk about it a lot, it's on my tier list. It's actually number 4 on my S tier. This list, if you're not familiar with it, is based both on price and power, kind of together. Now of course this doesn't beat some of these elite teams, but it beats almost everything. It has everything. It has tons of damage, it has debuff, it has healing, it can rip through 10 teams if you have it built well enough, and it's one of the best teams in the game. And I want to break it down and talk about how much it costs. So I made a price breakdown and I took a few liberties, but bear with me, okay? So we have essentially Dust, Immortals, and skills. The dragon's not here because I believe the Earth Dragon to be completely free. You get free crystals in open arena, and the crystals are free to farm on the map, so I did not include them. So for Dust, technically Dust is free, and I'll explain. Dust is free in the Time Rift Breaker shop. Dust is free in the Arena shop. And Dust is free in Throne of Supreme, right? So there's tons and tons of ways to get Dust. Now, how do I calculate it? Well, there's two main ways. One, Dust in the market costs about 120, 100, depends on the deal, the percent deal you get. Dust in the Deep CI costs about 180 to like 150, depending on the price and the value you want to get. So if you want to really rush it, it's going to be closer to 200 per. If you want to be more efficient, it's going to be about 80 to 100 to 120. So I'm going to average out at about 120 per gem. So technically free. If not, it's going to cost you about 336k to like really rush it. And the reason being is Dust gets more and more expensive the higher you go. Now you're going to want Zenobia and Kin to be at least 20. I think it's going to be about 400-ish, 300 something. But it's going to cost 1480 to get way up here into the 40s. So it costs a lot. This is approximate. These are a lot of estimates, but remember, you're gonna get some for free. They just accumulate over time, and gems have, you know, innate value because they are technically free, but they also have purchase value. So 1,000 gems is $10 if you want to think about it that way. I think that's not a great way to look at it because no one's gonna really rush a hybrid team. Anyways, moving on, Immortals. Alex and Xeno are the only ones that are technically pay to unlock. If you do one daily bundle, you get 20 pearls, you can unlock Alex right at the start of the game, and then you can get the rest of him in the Mysterium for gems. Same with Zenobia. You can get her in the VIP. I believe it's VIP like 8 or 9. Yeah, right here. You can unlock her for $5 on the very first one here, and then this is $10, but you don't even have to get this one. If you want to rush it, you can. It's going to cost you about 200 to rush it. If you don't, you can unlock her. You can get her for gems and for purples inside the market. So she's about 5, and then a Hannibal and Kin are free in the arena. Now, when you think about rushing them, it costs about, what, 200? It's technically a little less, but you're also not complete. So this is just a rough number. It costs about 400 total to get these Immortals, to rush them for price. Now, depending how you want to factor those gems, you could definitely increase this number. That's up to you. Now, I made just kind of a model team. This is not a team I use. The Dust is not here, the artifacts are here, but your hybrid team's gonna look something like this. Now, a lot of teams look like this. Some look a little bit different. Some like to put War Blessing. Some like to make Alex single target, and instead of putting these skills on, they go with a really free-to-play combo, anger, and just like a shield. Either physical shield or toxin barrier or war blessing or something like this on one of these. Some people like to take off assembly charge and then put fighting master on Hannibal, and this denies things like confusion from Loki and stuff to happen, but in the early game it's not that big a deal. Can stop stuns and stuff, and it helps block a few things, but otherwise it can look something like that. Hannibal is going to be focusing the target to his left because it's cleaving them, and then Alex is going to be funneling his damage into them. So it's a really efficient way to do it. Both setups are great. There's plenty of adjustments. You can have toxin barrier. The point is, you're gonna need approximately this many paid skills. Now, if you want to do them the cheap way and buy them like 5 at a time and then turn them to dust in the shop, excuse me, not that shop, this shop. If you want to turn them into dust here, you can buy 5 a week in the recharge and get the 50, or you can spend the 140, and that's why I have here to just get all 60. Costs like technically a little bit less than this, but just for easy math, this is what it costs. So the total for the cheap version of Hyrbrid, which includes these skills and includes unlocking the slow way and dust the slow way, is gonna be about $971. That's pretty much the $11 here plus the skills here, and you can actually take off of these 3 if you want to and make it even cheaper at about $600 plus time. And again, we're talking about gems being passive to collect these over time, gems being passive to buy dust over time and collecting them over time, of course. But this is the cheapest. Like, if you want to have a really strong team, you can actually get it closer to $600. You can take off about 3 of these skills and make it about 600. Now, if you really want to rush it, you want to rush the dragon, rush the immortals, rush the skills, it's gonna cost you more in the range of 1500 plus a lot of gems, which, you know, you can calculate these however you feel is necessary for this kind of a video. You know, this price would be more like 3,000 if you really needed all those gems. But the point is, you can make this March super cheap. Some of these skills aren't even required to be on the team. This is free. You probably don't even need this if you don't want it. You can do War Blessing there. Purification only really needed into like a couple of teams. It is pretty key though, and the rest is really cheap. You only have to buy 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, and maybe 5. And then if you want Alex to have the other team, the other setup with battle executioner blade, it is going to be more. So take it as you want. I think this is probably one of the best teams in the game to invest in if you want to. It's very cheap. It's as cheap as they come, and it's very powerful. If you guys like this new series, let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next one.